Well, I started thinking about this film after my dad had passed away, and he was this excellent, very vivacious, very provocative gay man, and he was very out and loud and all of this. But he died a handful of years ago, and Aud, who is my child, was only 13 at the time. And then over the next few years, Aud started to kind of step into their own queer identity and start to like really be public about it. And I really wished that I could have put them in the room together to have a conversation about that. And so we started to think about writing a film. Originally, just it was a grandparent and grandchild, and it was what would that conversation be between them. And it grew into this big sort of family ensemble across generations. And when I said to my co-writer, Matt, let's make this film, he was like, okay, we can do that, but you also have to be in it, like your generation, the third part of this. So then we sort of had a good time and a playful time in thinking about what does it mean to make stories, what does it mean to make films, how do we think about who we are in the world by the things that we make. So we started to explore those ideas. And then when it came to casting somebody to play that version of me, I just thought, well, who's brilliant and smart and excellent and beautiful? I'll just cast her.
Available.
Who does everyone love? And like, I just cast the most brilliant actress in the world. So, it was. I always wanted Olivia to do it. And then when we met, it was just like she understood everything about the script. She was just so intuitive about it, and she's so wonderful. So, how lucky am I?
Well, actually, I wanted to have a different work experience. I'd done a lot of work and not felt terribly fulfilled. Just a couple of jobs where I thought I really want to work with someone who's more creative and more of an actor's director. And then my agent said, Sophie Hyde has sent a script. I think you'd love working with Sophie Hyde. And so it was more, oh, that sounds great. And then so I was already excited about reading the script because I wanted to work with a really good director. And then we met on Zoom, just got on. I thought we would have a lovely, creative, gentle, a loving time working together. And I did also love the script, and I was interested in playing Hannah. So
Do you know what? I never really thought about it when we were doing it. I think Olivia was a bit like, yeah, I'm playing you, but we can pretend I'm not. But it was all the funny things. I wouldn't notice until like a moment we were doing a scene where Olivia was playing me being a filmmaker on set. And then she started going like, I do want that. Yes, I do. Go over there. Like, yes, I would like. She was just doing
To a T,
things.
to a
And
T.
I was like, I'm so offended. No, as if I was. No, she was, and she would just pick up small things. I mean, but I think we're both like the character, do you know? So we understand something about the world in the same way. And so it was like everyone in the film is drawing on their own personal experience to make it. And it's just that because we were so explicit about it being our personal experience, everyone kind of became more comfortable with that, I think.
When Mum wrote Frances, I was 14 and Frances was 16. And so there was this idea that, oh, am I going to be like Frances? And then I grew up beyond Frances and then came back to play them. And so actually I feel very connected to them, but I don't particularly feel like we're that similar. The things I connect to about Frances are mostly just about being trans and trying to navigate the world as a non-binary person and how that can feel. I probably the biggest, most relatable point is Jim, because John's Jim is very similar to my Jim, my grandfather, and so it was sort of like therapy, but like deeply delightful every day. Yeah, I just kept joking that like my job is to just go in and connect with people and enjoy myself and then go home and do it all again tomorrow. It's a dream. Yeah.
Well, my working relationship with Sophie began with an hour and a half Zoom call after I had read the script and she'd sent me the wonderful materials, and after I had seen Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, her film, and Emma Thompson's extraordinary performance. I was captivated by this woman I'd never met. I never even had seen what she looked like. I had this Zoom with her, and I was so taken with her. I felt like we'd become great friends at the end of a Zoom call. I already knew I was going to do this role, but I pretended I needed to be persuaded. And, was I ever persuaded? When it comes to creating the relationships, she has this fantastic modus operandi directing actors. You actually get to see a little sliver of that in the film. One of the marvelous little moments of the film is watching her teach young director students how to deal with actors and how to help actors. She was, there was Olivia imitating Sophie,
That's
helping
one of those.
us act in her film. And it was very much like that. We had one of the one of the loveliest pre-shoot work weeks I've ever had. An entire week during which I interacted with just about every other actor who'd been hired, doing these wonderful, we never read a scene, we never properly rehearsed, we merely got to know each other on an amazingly deep, because it was so amazingly quick basis. She would send us on little errands to do things for each other, just slip us little secret messages that we were not allowed to show anybody else, like find something fun to do in Amsterdam and take odd, or uh, uh, take the wonderful Kate Box, my eldest sister, take her to a concert in Amsterdam. And I did. This was before we'd even started acting. It worked automatically. They were, not to mention, talking quite deeply about the issues of the film, both the political issues, the historical issues, but mainly the family emotional issues. By the end of that, we just knew each other so well. We were an ensemble. And then we started shooting. And you just simply see it up on the screen, I think, when you see the film. The connection between these people, the relationships make so much emotional sense. You just understand where all of them are coming from.
And do you know the first thing that we shot with John was we'd been working for a while and we'd done a lot of movement stuff as well as in sort of other things. And John is an actor that just walks in the room just ready to go, just like full gusto, absolute curiosity, absolute determination to like find and sink his teeth into the character. And it's quite remarkable as a director and for everyone else in the room as well, because you all just are emboldened in this way that's very freeing, I think. But the first thing we shot was Jim dancing. And so John comes out, tattoos, chains, bracelets, little singlet, jeans, into this beautiful house. We set up and we just let it go. And he just dances like for a while. It kept it going for a while, didn't I? Yeah. And at the end, all of the crew were just crying and everyone just applauded. It was such an incredible start.
We actually had such an amazing movement director, Theo Klinkard, who's a dancer, and we spent so many hours dancing together and experimenting, and the young queer chorus of kids that I do things within the film with, we had this beautiful rehearsal where we just like formed these sort of strange tableaus and then moved, and it was like we just did the most amazing things. You two danced together a lot. It was
I think
spectacular.
before Olivia and I had acted a scene, we had to dance, not for the film, purely for they needed a publicity still to take down to the Cannes Festival to try to sell the film to European distributors.
It's the one
or
you've all
something.
seen.
So there we were dancing before we'd even acted.
Yeah.
It was great, and it's a great photograph. You can find it.
I think all of us who've gone through those kind of big grieving moments, but when you get to do something like that, sit by the side of somebody and say properly the things you need to say and tell them the story of their life or whatever that is. For me, that experience was such a privilege with my own dad that in a way, putting it on screen is a kind of reminder for all of us that I have been able to do that, you know, that how lucky we are to be able to do that, because not everyone gets to, you know.
For me, it was like an acting experience I have never had before, because I felt like I was communicating very deeply with Olivia, even though I was completely inert.
It is weird that yes, but I really felt like you were there
I was listening to every word.
For many actors, probably would have had a snooze, but you were totally there the whole time. And when the tear came,
I mean, I burst into tears myself yesterday when I saw it.
yeah.
And I feel so lucky that we've gotten to honor our Jim and like I think give him this like big beautiful life that he would have loved to live, which he did, but also to put it in Amsterdam, which is a city that he loved, and he gets to wear amazing costumes, he gets to be played by John Lithgow. I think like that stuff is really special. It's like there's a catharsis in that for us, I think, to gift that to him.
And for my part, it was like Jim was giving me a gift from the grave, just giving me his life.